Touchdown! 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 The Bills make me wanna shout. Kick your heels up and shout. Throw your hands up and shout. Throw your head back and shout. Come on now, the Bills are making it happen now. Stand up now, come on and shout. Yeah, 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 yeah.
Say you will.
Shout it right now, baby.
Say you will.
Come on, come on.
Say you will.
Come on and shout.
Say you will.
Yeah.
Shout.
Buffalo's happening now.
Welcome into another episode of 716 Sports Blizzard with my co-host Logan.
Hello. Thanks for having me on as always, Robbie. Go Bills. Got a dub this week on Thursday, and we got some things to talk about now, don't we?
And go Bills, and also go Sabres, because the prospect camp was happening this past weekend.
You're right. The prospects camp is happening, and it was this last weekend. We faced the Devils and the Jackets, right?
Yeah. The Sabres, they lost to the Devils 5-2, and the Sabres beat the Blue Jackets 3-1.
All right. Thank you, Chris. Good to see you as always, my friend. And Richard, thank you for stopping in. We appreciate it as always. All right, let's talk some Bills, bud. Let's talk some Bills. What do you want to start off with?
And we should have a couple more people coming in from over on the Overreaction Network also.
Okay, sounds good. Yeah. So where do you want to start? You want to start off with the offense, with the defense? What do you think we should start off with?
I would say let's start off on the defensive side of the football.
Mm-hmm. All right, let's start off. Our defense was really good. I thought our defense played an excellent game, especially when you consider we got off to a slow start against Arizona, but against Miami, completely different story. We got off to a hot start, right?
Well, I was out and about, so I couldn't really.
Gotcha. So you missed the first little bit of the game, or what?
Yeah, but like, I mean, our defense played good.
I agree.
I think. I mean, DeMar Hamlin was making tackles again, so...
Yeah, DeMar Hamlin had, I think, like 10 tackles or something, which is huge. That's what you want to see from him. At the very least, he's showing that he's at least capable of being a playmaker out there, you know? He's not the best, but he's good enough, you know? And sometimes kind of all we need. Yeah, but he really had a solid game against Miami out there. Another player I want to talk about is Jamarcus Ingram.
Oh, you mean the guy from UB, the University of Buffalo?
Yep.
Right?
He's from UB. He was undrafted. Oh, wow. Is he? I just searched him up. He's 27 years old. He's a rookie, I think. No, he signed with the Bills in 2022. He just made the team, and he had a pick six on Tua. And
yeah, Tua was not on his game, was he?
No, Tua didn't play well. But if we do want to talk about Tua, you know, we got to talk about the whole health situation, because, you know, he took a big hit to DeMar. It wasn't really DeMar's fault. Tua kind of ran into DeMar, and Tua went down with a concussion. He was out. He was ruled out for the game almost instantly. And I just hope Tua's okay. Hope that he he's in good health. I'll never wish bad health on a player, and I'll never wish that someone were to get injured. But unfortunately, before his injury, he wasn't playing very well. We kind of had him on lockdown. It was really a clinic from our defense. I don't think he threw it. Did he throw a touchdown? I don't think so. Did he? I don't remember. Let me search it up.
Yeah, I'm not 100% sure either. So
Yeah, he did throw a touchdown to Devon Achan, who again proving he's a very good player.
and he was questionable going into the game, I think.
Tua was?
No, Devon
Achan. Yep, you're right. Achan was questionable going into the game. Don't know what the status was on his injury, but apparently he was a game time decision. But yeah, it sucks that Tua's hurt right now, but I'm hoping he can get back. I'm hoping that he's good to go for Miami. But it was overall the defense looked good, and even before Tua was hurt, our defense kind of locked him down. Guys like Tyreek Hill, Jalen Waddle didn't really do much in this game.
True.
So what? Was there any defensive players you thought stood out? Any edge rushers, any pass rushers, any linebackers?
Von Miller and Ingram.
Yeah, Ingram had an awesome game. Obviously, the 2 interceptions he had. Granted, one of them, it was, the Tua, it looked like the receiver wasn't looking and bounced off the receiver, and it was perfect. It was kind of bounced perfectly in Ingram's hands. And yes, I agree. Pray for Tua. But yeah, it just kind of happened that way. And then the other one was supposed to be a throwaway, but Ingram, it was right place, right time. He got the pick 6. But Von Miller, he stood out again, and he had another good game, which is what we need to see, because he has up to this point, Von Miller is kind of considered a disappointment of a signing, which isn't all his fault because of his injury. But it's good to see his second game, his second sack, right?
What are you expecting on Monday night against Jacksonville?
Up to this point, Jacksonville, they're 0-2. We're 2-0. I would expect a win. I can tell you that. I don't. Granted, the Jaguars do play well against us, and they have in the past. But I would be expecting a win. I expect Josh Allen to outduel Trevor Lawrence. I don't think that's crazy to say. What?
I mean, I kind of like Trevor Lawrence, so
I know you do. I know.
I think it's gonna be about even for them, but I think Buffalo does win, but
I agree.
But I think Jacksonville does have the Bills number.
Yep.
A little bit.
I don't know what it is. Jacksonville just kind of has our number for some reason. And recently they've been, they've started off this season slow, but I do think that if there is a game for the Jaguars to get back on track, it would be against us, because they just kind of know how to play us.
And
go ahead.
And we did play them in London.
Last year or 2 years ago?
I think it was last year.
Yeah, I think it was last year too. And again, they beat us. They played well, fair and square. Just kind of sucks the way it turned out. There it is. Thanks, Keith. Go Bills.
That there's my my
That's your guy?
buddy. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
nice.
That's my guy. What's up, Keith?
Good to see you, Keith. Thanks for stopping into the show. But yeah, I mean, we saw, I think we're going to need to see Josh Allen have another really good game against the Jaguars defense, which up to this point has played well. Their games have been against Miami and against Cleveland. They're playing very well. They played very well defensively against both teams, only allowing, I think, 20 points to Miami and 18 to Cleveland. So, it's not going to be an easy win. It really isn't. But they're going to compete. It's going to be competitive, and that's kind of how the Jaguars play nowadays. It won't be an easy game.
And to go a little off, I met Keith through Ranting Ron also.
Oh, did you? Awesome. Very good.
So
Nice.
so shout out to Ron if he's out there listening.
Awesome. Yeah, shout out to Raining Ron. But let's talk about the offense in the Dolphins game. What did we see? It was definitely an interesting game plan, and it's hard to kind of analyze it, but I want to know what you thought of our offense against Miami.
I mean, James Cook, like, really,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
and
Didn't he look good?
and they didn't use Keon very much last game.
He didn't
I
have
mean-
a single catch.
I mean, he had one target, but no.
I didn't even know he only had one target. That's crazy. But yeah, the offense is very much centered around James Cook. Do you want to get to Keith's question here real quick before we go a little bit deeper?
Yeah. He says, "Sorry if I missed it, but what are your thoughts on Tua? Do you think he should ever take another snap in football?"
Well, we did talk a little bit about Tua. Mainly, I guess what we discussed was we just hope that he's okay, and we hope that he's in good health, because I never want to wish injury upon a player. Again, retirement is not my call. I'm not a doctor, but what I can say is, if it gets to a point where Tua's long-term health is legitimately in question, retirement needs to start becoming an option, in my opinion. But again, I'm not a doctor. I am not Tua. There's not really much I can say on the matter. I can just give my own personal opinion on the matter. But it was a scary injury. What do you think? You think any? You want anything to add, or?
I mean, I'm just hoping, that he's okay, but like
I agree.
having concussions, I think after this one, I think he should think about stepping away from the game.
I agree. Yeah, I agree. And it's a hard discussion to have. It's not. I don't think it's one that a lot of people want to discuss. But it's something to consider, in my opinion. I agree with Richard. I think he will play again. I don't think he should, but I think he will. And I guess we'll see. I guess we'll see what happens. We'll see if he does. But yeah, it was a scary injury, and I just hope for his sake that he's in good health. But we'll get back to our offensive takeaways from the game. Yeah, I mean it was the James Cook show, at least in the first half. He had 3 touchdowns. 3 touchdowns for James Cook. It was awesome to see. It just kind of felt like another one of his coming out parties, where it's like James Cook has finally arrived, and he's proving he's one of the top backs in the league,
True.
You agree with that?
Yeah. And shout out to my guys over at CDP Sports Entertainment, Chris Pomey and Nick Small for
Yeah. Shout out to them. They're great guys.
yeah.
They're not in the stream right now, but that's all right. Maybe they will be down the line. But let's talk about Josh Allen. What did you see from him? It was kind of he didn't really do much.
Well, Chris just retweeted the show.
Oh,
So,
did he? Nice. So
that
maybe we'll see Chris.
that's true. He was. I agree.
James was cooking. I definitely agree with that. He was cooking. He had a great game, a great first half, and he's really turning into a special part of the offense now. He's great. He was fantastic and scoring 3 touchdowns. But Josh again didn't really do much today, last game, but he really didn't have to do a whole lot, right? It was just a lot of things kind of went his way. A lot of bounces went his way. A lot of it was just the field position was always great for him. So he didn't really have to pass that much. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And watching this game live right now as you and I are live on YouTube, the Houston Texans have a lead on the Chicago Bears 13-3 in the second quarter.
All right. Yeah, so that's
and
that'll be interesting for playoffs because the Texans obviously AFC team.
Yeah. And no Diggs receptions as of yet that I could see.
No Diggs receptions yet. Yeah, I get it.
But Nico Collins did have a touchdown.
Yep. Yeah, so the Texans are going to be a team. We might face them early. We might face them later on in the season. Actually, do we?
Yeah, we faced them right after the Sunday night game against Baltimore.
Yep, you're right. Good call. You're right about that. So that'll be a fun game. And that could have playoff implications too. The Texans are an AFC team, obviously. They're a team that we're going to have to, we can't take them lightly anymore. They have a good young quarterback in C.J. Stroud too. But that's a team in the future we'll have to worry about.
I like watching other quarterbacks, like Josh Allen.
We know you like Trevor Lawrence. Yep.
Trevor Lawrence. Caleb Williams.
Yep, Caleb Williams is on now. He's a good young quarterback. A lot of potential with Caleb Williams. So I'm excited to see what he turns into,
And who's the one out in Washington?
Jaden Daniels, the rookie.
Yeah, the rookie, Jaden Daniels, yeah.
He just got his first win today, I think, against the Giants.
Yeah, Giants. But, Devin Singletary.
Yep. I don't think we faced them this year, but Singletary, former Buffalo Bill. But yeah, I mean, there's just a lot of excitement going in our game against Jacksonville now. If we can get the job done against Jacksonville, I'd feel pretty good about the rest of the season. What do you think? You feel the same way, or?
I mean, I feel the same way about that.
Yeah.
Just take the momentum from the 2 games that you just played.
Yep.
And bring it to the game against Jacksonville in your stadium at home. Yeah,
and it's a primetime game too. So Monday night, it'll be exciting, man. The crowd's going to be electric.
Yeah, right? It's a 7:30 start. on Monday night.
Oh, it's a 7:30 start. That's early for a Monday night game, huh?
I I think they might have
Yeah, it
a.
is 7. Yeah, they have 2 Monday night games. That's why.
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah, the other one is Bengals Commanders. But let's talk
Uh,
about what are some things we should expect for this game. What do you think? How do you think our offense is going to do? How do you think our defense is going to do? What should we expect from the game, Robbie?
Well, I hope Bobby Bavich and Coach McDermott and Joe Brady they all come up with a good game plan
Yep.
for for our team to succeed and beat Trevor Lawrence and the Jacksonville Jaguars.
I agree. I hope that it ends up we come up with a good game plan. And how do you feel about Bobby Babbitt so far, Robbie? How are we feeling about him, our new defensive coordinator?
I mean, after 2 games, I feel pretty good about him, but I really haven't seen much from him that um would would make me think differently about our
Right.
team.
Yeah, then that makes sense. That makes sense. I think you're right about that. Um, but yeah, I mean Bobby Babbage, I think he's cooking up some nice things. I think he's doing very well for our defense, and I think especially against Arizona when we started off slow, um, it took a while to get back going. But once we did, it was like once we found our groove, it was like we were good to go. So I'm hoping that ends up being the case. Um, where Bobby Babbage just has good game plans every week, and if the game plan's going wrong, make the proper adjustments. That's kind of what we need out of Bobby Babbage right now. But yeah, I've been impressed with him so far. How do you feel about Joe Brady, our offensive coordinator?
I think him and Josh Allen are doing good things for the offense.
Yep, I agree. I think what I like most about Joe Brady is that there can be game plans where Josh Allen doesn't have to carry the team. Obviously we saw it last game against Miami, where Josh Allen only had to throw for 139 yards, and we still got the job done. Um, and sometimes that's just kind of what you need out of an offensive coordinator, where he doesn't have to solely rely. He doesn't have to solely rely on our elite quarterback. That's what's impressive about Joe Brady is that guys like James Cook can get going. We can see the ball get spread around, so we don't have a true number one receiver. But so far it's been fun to watch, and we had a really exciting game against Miami. But going into Jacksonville, do you think any offensive players need to really show out and really break out? Do you think there's anyone in particular you want to call out, Robbie?
Well, I would say like Knox, Kincaid, the 2 tight ends,
Yep.
um, Morris,
Yep. Quentin Morris. Yep.
Quentin Morris, yeah. Tight end.
Yeah, I agree with you. We haven't really seen much of anything from Kincaid or from Dawson Knox. They both haven't really shown up that much, and sometimes that's just how the cookie crumbles. But it is kind of unfortunate that we're not really seeing Kincaid and Knox really step up. We paid Knox a good chunk of money. He got a good extension, and in my opinion, he hasn't really lived up to that. What do you think about that? Do you agree? He hasn't really lived up to the contract he got given.
Well, I I wouldn't say because I think what's happening is like most of the the defenses are covering him, so he's not
Okay.
getting open.
Yeah, he's not getting open as much. And I think it also has to do with, like, Dalton Kincaid took a majority of his snaps, so it's hard for Dawson Knox to find a role back in the offense, but I do agree with you. I do think he's a player that needs to step up. He can provide something interesting for our offense, a new dynamic, because he's a really athletic player. He's a really athletic tight end, and I will say though, Dawson Knox, I think he's been a great blocker. I think he's found his role as a run blocker and a pass blocker on the team. So, how do you feel about that? Oh, Chris Pomay just joined.
Hello, Chris from CDP Talk
Chris,
Show.
good to see you. Good to see you. Yeah, we're close to wrapping it up here. You got something to say?
Yes. Go Falcons.
Oh, against the Eagles? No audio. No, people can hear us. Chris, I think maybe you're. Is there really no audio?
I don't know.
Yeah, our audio's going. I think Chris is just turn up your volume, dude.
Hi, Keith.
Yeah, I think we're good. I think Chris just can't hear us for some reason. Yeah, I think we're good. But yeah, anything else you wanna do a score prediction before we call it off?
Yeah.
All right, you'll start us off. Give us a score prediction, buddy.
I'll let my friend over in the comments, Keith, if you can hear me, you predict my score.
Oh, I like that. Getting the viewers involved. That's fun. I like it.
He's a good friend of mine. I'm gonna just
he's
let
our
him
guy,
put it in.
But I'll give my score prediction. I think we're gonna handle business. I think I'll say the game ends. I'll go 27 to 20. I'll go 27 to 20. I think we'll take care of business. I think it'll be a close game. I think that I don't really see this being too difficult of a game for us, but we'll still have to play hard and the Jags are not a team to look past. You know what I mean?
True.
Ooh, there we go. Okay.
17-12 Buffalo.
That is a weird score, but
but
not impossible, right?
I mean, I see them at least putting up 20 points, but
I agree.
But looking at Jacksonville's defense, I think Jacksonville
they could slow us down,
Richard Rush coming in with a score 24-17 Buffalo.
Nice. Yeah, I like that. It's a good call. Yeah, I like that score prediction a lot. Robbie, you got a score prediction yourself?
I could say 17-13, but I think Buffalo could win it by 3. They could win it by 6.
Right. Yeah, I agree. Look at Chris's score. Take a look at that.
27-26 Jacksonville. I like that. I'm okay with it.
If we lose by a point, that would suck. But at the end of the day, it's a prediction, right?
Yeah. And
yep. And Chris is right. We talked about that earlier in the podcast.
Yes, we did. We did
The
talk
Jags
about
kind of
that.
have our number. Robbie brought that up, and he's correct. Yeah, Jags have our number. But I think this is the game that turns it around. I think home game against the Jags in prime time, I think we'll get the job done. And like I said, I'm not going to take those Jaguars lightly. Trust me, I know. I know. It's going to be a hard-fought game. It's not going to be easy, but I think we'll figure out a way to get the job done. I have confidence in our team and our game plan. So, anything else you want to add, Robbie, or are you feeling good? Feeling good heading into the game?
Yeah.
You feel good? All right.
And one more from Chris. He says, I find Bills play better on the road.
That depends. It depends.
And no gimme games either. So yeah, I agree.
He's right. Yeah, he's right. Yeah. I don't know. I mean, I think
I would say like fly Eagles fly, but of course I don't root for Philly teams, so
yeah, but it's an NFC game against the Eagles and the Falcons. You know who else? The Ravens also lost. Don't forget.
yes.
Ravens lost as well. Yeah,
and we have a score prediction for tomorrow night before we end the show. 27 Eagles, 17 Falcons.
All right, I like that. Okay, anything else you want to add, Robbie? Are you feeling good, man? Ready for the next game?
I'm ready for the next game, and go Bills, and we will catch you next week.
Go Bills. Thanks, Chris. Go Bills.
Go Bills.